Hello guys, it's Alex here. Today we're gonna do a bit of a different video. We're gonna take a quick look into DC Worlds Collide. I've been playing this game for around a month now. My understanding is you can get it in some countries, and in many countries you need to find an APK to download it. First positive of the game is it loads very quickly in contrast with Marvel Strike Force. This video is gonna be, since I'm playing Marvel Strike Force as my main game, and this is the content of the channel that I'm posting this on. This is gonna compare it a little bit, and will tell you from this point of view if I like it or not. I may start making content with DC Worlds Collide, especially if it lands globally and when I'm a little bit more experienced and actually have to give solid advice. We'll probably call it DC Worlds Collide Alex as I have it here, if I make it. We'll see how the game goes and if I will still keep liking it after more months. Probably yes. I like it so far. So I've been playing like for the second calendar, so 23 plus 7 days, exactly 1 month. So first take a look at the characters. You have a decent, like in a month, you unlock a decent roster of well-known characters that are strong in contrast with Marvel Strike Force. So it's very nice to have like Wonder Woman C being the best character in game, and have like Batman and Green Arrow being great. It's not cool to have like some like this guy who I don't know who he is, Clayface, being the most strong character, and like Frankenstein and I don't know, characters that that somebody that is not a big nerd on the IP is not super familiar with. It's nice playing with Batman, even though he's not the strongest in the game. He's very usable. That's a positive. The way it looks on its play, so we start here. This is the regular campaigns. I'm just gonna show it a little bit. I'm not gonna do a lot of long fights. So you have 5 characters that you use. You can change your characters and put someone else. Put Batman because he's well known. Depending where you place your characters, you can move them around. Different things happen, and usually the front row gets hit more, so you want to put more tanks or tanky characters. The back row, maybe you have people that they are easier to be killed, but they do more damage, generally speaking, or like a support. Depending on where I place Batman, if I place him here, he will hit the person with the shield there. If I place him here, he will hit Bane. When they die, he will hit the person behind Bane, and then Green Arrow, or here he will hit the person with the rifle first, and then so positioning matters. This is nice. When you press fight, the basics and like special, like super basics happen automatically, and you just have some, when your team does 5 basic attacks, you can use an ultimate basically, and you can select which ultimate you want to use, or you can just select the order in which you want your team to have their ultimates. You see, first is Wonder Woman, then it's he that just died, Lex Luthor, then is Zatanna. So if I put auto, then Wonder Woman will do automatically, then she will do automatically, and in the early game when you don't know what you're doing, this works very well, the content is easy, and you can just mess it around a little bit and see what you like more, which character's ultimate looks cooler, and you go from there. I'm gonna lose this. Also, I like there is the animations are nice, but they're not level Marvel Strike Force level. And in the game, generally characters look nice, but if you go here, the legs of male characters look weird. They look very skinny, like they are very thin, like they are children, many of them. Women look very nice. There's no, they don't look weird. It's they look like you would expect them to look. Male characters look a bit weird when you are looking there, like here, especially when you're looking at them. So it feels a little bit weird, but it's not like something that is a big turn off for me. As I said before, the kits are simpler, but I like this is her kit. That's it. Some people have those affinities here that it can help some other. They have some synergy, like a team synergy, and this is like also a part of a kit, which is you unlock after you play for like a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, a maximum. So you gain here also some extra skill, let's say, or it updates a skill of yours. There's also the reinforcement that are almost act like extra characters, but you can only use them once per match, which I think is very interesting. And they look cool, and they do some interesting stuff. For this, for example, can stun people. Also, this game contrasts with Mario Strike Force are more like a mini buffs, if you can say that. Like she gets one stack of Frantic for 2 turns. This gives her plus 10% crit chance, but she can gain many stacks of it. Where's that Anna? She gives 1 strong attack for 2 turns. And now that I have her at higher level, she gives 2 stacks of strong attack. So it's like a mini offense up. You gain 2 of them, so it's 16% extra attack. It's not super overpowering. I like it because it's not super complex to have to deal with very complex kits that when they drop under 50%, they do stuff. You have your characters that you are expecting to be good, like Wonder Woman, like Superman, like Flash, like Batman, and they are good. You can play with them. They're the best characters probably in the game, or very, very strong, and they do simpler things. The team synergy here is less overpowering, which is very nice actually, and it's more like a 3-person synergy most of the time. So you have more plug and play depending what you want to do. Let's give an example here with Batman. Batman has this affinity, like a leader trait, let's say. When he is with 2 people that do single target burst characters, that are many. There are some at least you can choose. You can put him with Robin and Nightwing, and then all deployed allies will gain extra stats, and people that have single target burst damage, they will do 9% extra burst. It's not super overpowering that will change everything, but it's a nice buff. You can put him with 2 single burst characters. If, for example, you put him with Nightwing and Robin, then you need 1 extra tank that you can choose, and you need maybe a support. And you have the option to plug and play, or you can use like a support, a Raven as a support, and not use Robin, and use someone else like Wonder Woman just because she's amazing and she does a lot of damage and you like her. There's also a little thing here with synergies that is not extremely overpowering as well. So it's the triangles here. There's like a little bit like Pokemon, but it's not there is not the concept of not very effective in my understanding. So each one of them does 20%, 30% more damage when it hits, like when intellect hits strength, they do 30% more damage. When strength hits agility, they do 30% more damage. When agility hits intellect, it does 30% more damage. When intellect hits agility, it doesn't do 30% less damage, it just doesn't do 30% more. This is not extremely overpowering. This is something you can consider if you are pushing for a node and you have many options, a wide roster, and you want to counter something in particular. For example, here, we need to use strength characters, and they are strong against intellect. So maybe you wouldn't do that much because it's not super overpowering, but you want to replace a Lex Luthor because he will take more damage, and put a like him, Green John, that will do more damage to them. Also here, when you put many characters of the same trait, they gain an extra buff stat for the whole team. So you want to have at least like 3 of a trait or 2 on 2. Even like if you have like 2 and 2, you still gain a buff. So from 8% for each to 12% each is not the biggest difference in stats. Maybe it is a little bit from 8 to 15, but then it's a bit restrictive, but maybe you want to do something different. So there is some theory crafting there, which I like. Now I don't have a second single target burst character, and I don't get to the extra buff from him. So maybe I want to use a single target burst, but maybe she takes more damage, so at least I put him that doesn't, or I want to put is someone like a strength. No, they don't do that well. So that's another thing of like team building, but it's like a small extra buff. It's not as prescriptive as a Marvel Strike Force. Or you can use like him, and to use his you just need to have another tank and one support. It's very simple to have 2 tanks in your team and 1 support. It's the logical thing to do. It's not something like that's very restrictive. Or you can have Robins, and Robin needs to have a support and 1 extra DPS. So you don't have a support here, you put her and you can use this. For him, you need to have 1 DPS that do damage and 1 tank. So there are some that are more or less prescriptive. You still have 2 characters to plug and play. You can take this and take an extra buff from this. Take this into account. A little bit take into account maybe who you want to counter, but generally speaking, the characters that are stronger will overpower this, but not to. There isn't this thing in my understanding as I'm playing this game so far that there are like 3 or 5 characters that can kill everyone. It's more balanced. You use some people to counter other people, and you build different teams depending on who you're facing. There is the concept here on how rare a card or character is, that uncommons are unusable. There are very rarely usable. The elite are a little bit usable, especially in the early game when you don't have many epics. He, for example, I'm using him because he has a synergy with a Poison Ivy, and there is a villain like campaign, not like a challenge maybe, and there's not so many villains that do a lot of damage, so they have some synergy. I use them together. A And then there's the epic that generally speaking are very strong and very usable, and maybe even like a top 10 character. For example, Nightwing could be, or Zatanna could be like top 10 characters, or even like top 5. A and it's a little bit difficult originally to understand, but if you look very closely and very carefully at Wonder Woman and Lex, you will see that they glow more. They are legendary. Supposedly they are different like color. I don't know why they couldn't like make epics silver and have it very clearly understood. They have both look like gold, but you have the legendaries glow a little bit more if you look at them carefully at their cards here. But legendaries, generally speaking, are the best. There is a little bit the concept like if you look here on what you can on the characters, that maybe Mars and Manhunter is probably not as strong as, for example, Nightwing. So there are some legendaries and that aren't the best, and some epics that are better than them. I don't know how much this is the case for elites. To be usable, especially if you compare them with legendaries. To unlock a character, which I don't think it's a super positive thing, you cannot like slowly accumulate their shards. You need to pull them from an orb here. Like, let's open one orb. If I pull like I need to basically get lucky, like pulling mega orbs using your cores. It's basically this in contrast with Mario Strike Force. Here you have a chance of you have a 3% chance of pulling an epic character, and most likely you waste your cores. But in this game, this is a good use for your cores. You get many, and it's not a bad use to core characters to a big degree. Here, these are the rarer, like super encrypted tokens. They're more rare tokens. Like this is the mega orbs, and these are the premium orbs. Let's say. Here you can pull a legendary, but it's a 1% that you pull him, and a 4.5% to pull an epic, which are very strong. The good thing is they have the pity system that if you don't get lucky, here if you pull 40 characters and you haven't pulled an epic yet, you pull an epic, it's guaranteed. It says epic guarantee 8 out of 40. Here it's a 20 out of 30, so every 30 you pull an epic, and every 150 you will pull a legendary. Sometimes you get lucky. I pulled Wonder Woman maybe around 50 pulls, but now I get unlucky. I did exceed the 1% chance. He pulled 110, I didn't pull one. I will 100% pull a legendary when I pull another 40, but maybe I pull Wonder Woman and Lex or Lex again. I cannot select. When you start the game, which I think is very nice, you can select if you want to your first legendary that you will pull to be Wonder Woman, a Flash, or Superman. Generally speaking, Wonder Woman is the strongest, Flash is very strong, and Superman is strong. So Wonder Woman is better to pull. Yeah. So it's a bit annoying that you cannot slowly accumulate them. Lex has which is one of the best characters, definitely top 5. Has an event here, character fusion it's called, that if you gain like a 40 shards of 4 characters. Then you can use those shards instead of creating your characters. You get Lex. It's definitely worth it. I got him around like 2-3 weeks playing the game, and he's very nice. Uh, he's not the most tanky. I'm not extremely impressed by him so far, but I know everybody says he's like a maybe the second best character in the game. I see him doing some cool things, and maybe if he gets more like his abilities and gear and stuff, he will be better. So it's not nice having to rely on those orbs to get like every character, to have every character unlock. But I guess Marvel Strike Force you don't unlock everyone immediately, and probably when you start an account, if you compare the time it will get you to get, like for example Mephisto, then here very likely you will get say all the legendaries before that, but it's RNG based. I don't particularly like, there's not a clear path and strategy to get those characters free to play. I know there is like a way spending money to get Superman. He's like a reward if you spend some amount of money. And then you have two out of the three very wanted legendaries that are also that are very strong and the most well-known characters. Uh, yeah, I haven't spent any money yet on the game, and I'm definitely waiting for global launch. And now that I know that I will be on this game long term to consider spending money. Uh, there are some game modes in which you do different things, like for example these are like challenges. Two of them you use only heroes or villains. Three of them you use only the specific like color of characters. So you need to build different teams that I like, and not rely on one specific team. There is a very little PvP that I don't know if I will like this long term. Now I have a lot of content to play around with. There is an arena that doesn't give so often so great rewards that it's worth to say that the most important thing is you are in a team and only 5 characters are the strongest thing. Also, one thing that I very much like in this game is it's very forgiving for early game players, and you don't waste many of your resources. For example, this is a character training that you can just spend 5 cores, 5 small gems, and a you get all the experience back and the stuff that you spend on the character, and then you can put it on a different character. I love this model here that you just need to have 5 characters leveled up, and then you can have many characters gain the same level without having to put a level on them. I think this is great, called Reserve League Center. Uh, when you, for example, you have overgrown a gear or invested in some gear that is not great because you didn't pull some, or didn't know you didn't pull something great originally, then you can use, for example, a your old gear to upgrade your new gear, so nothing really gets lost. a those here, the emblems that you unlock a little bit later in the game, I think you cannot get back what you spent, and I think for the artifacts you can't. But otherwise, you can get levels back. You can move gear around, which is amazing. You can move. You can change this, and you take different gear. And Batman has this gear now, and you can move it back around. It doesn't cost anything. For example, you have a gear on a character that's not great, and you have leveled him up because you didn't know. You take their level back, and then you take the gear and you put in a strong character. So I think this is amazing. There's also a little bit of strategy that I like on what you do with your gear, but it's not overpowering. So you can build like a gear trait, a gear combination. If you have 4 of a trait, it will give you an extra buff. Here I have 4 crit on her, she gains extra 10% crit. And if you have 2, you gain extra a 3% attack bonus. Or you can put like a 3 on a character, now you have both health bonus and block bonus and a speed bonus. You have some gear that gives a little bit different buffs. For example, this gives crit for the first stat, this gives attack, this gives HP bonus, so you can customize a little bit your characters. It's not every character is different. One interesting thing for theory crafting that I know I haven't playing only 1 month a game, haven't explored super extensively, is you can put speed gear on a character, and then some characters will go faster than others, and they cast their like a advanced attack that's called like a super basic. For example, here you put speed on her, she puts offense up, mini offense up, like extra damage and extra crit on characters before other characters go, and then the characters, because you put more speed on her, then the characters maybe do an attack with offense up. So that's something interesting. Maybe a character gains barrier, or for example, she puts like an ability block. She puts silence. So if you have her a little bit faster, maybe you want to counter someone that will go faster than her, but you put extra speed on her, she puts an ability block, but because you put extra speed, maybe she has less damage to deal in the match. So I think this is an interesting idea that you can put speed gear on your characters. Also like that you need to put at least 2. You cannot put 6, so you need to mix and match. And to see what is the best to use a character. There are some things in a character's kit that gives you an indicator of how to put what the best traits like a gear to put on them. But maybe you can break those rules depending on what you want to do, which is interesting theory crafting possibilities. For example, it says here, if the damage crits, there's a chance of inflicting sun. If the damage crits, she has a chance of inflicting silence ability block. So you want crit on her. He have block on him. Here, when if the damage is blocked, he basically does a counter attack, or like deals a recoil extra damage, because he deals damage because the opponents attacked him and he blocked. I think this is very nice that you can theory craft with your gear as well, and that you don't that's not super prescriptive on what you need to put on everyone, and maybe for specific matches you want to change it. I like the PvP that I like is Elite Arena, which is like an arena, but you put 3 teams on defense, and you also have to theorycraft with how you put your reinforcements, and you build a combination of 3 teams. Maybe you want to have 2 super strong teams and 1 weaker, and hope you get, because the person that gets 2 out of 3 wins. Maybe you want to put them through 3 equally and hope someone else does put everything in 1 team, so you win the other 2. So there is like a theorycraft opportunity here. There is a season rules this season. When all the characters in a team have the same trait, they gain 20% extra damage amplification, extra percent damage reduction. The previous season, it was when you have at least one character from each trait. Traits are the colors. The colors, not the. Oh, let me see. Yeah, are the colors. It's not like the battle, like if there are tanks and yeah. So you have to decide. I have a relatively weak red team. Do I want to have them together and gain the 20 extra percent buff, or is it not worth it and I want to create a stronger team and put blue characters because I have many blue characters? For example, let's show it in action. It's very close. You can like skip it. One thing I don't like too much about those are the two arenas are in auto. You cannot play it. So here I lost the first one. Now I need to win the other two. Otherwise, I now I won, and it's the final. So there's something I'm definitely gonna lose this one, but maybe not. Yeah. So I lost out of three. I lost. I like that you have to build three teams like this, and you face teams that other people have built. Also, one thing interesting here in both arenas is that when somebody attacks you and your defense wins, then you move up in arena. I think that's very interesting. So there is a lot of value on theory crafting in this. You also don't need to have one strong team. You need to have at least three strong teams for this. But you also need to have like a superhero and a supervillain for the campaigns, and then you need to have for the like the challenges. I'm not really sure what will happen here. Both weak teams are kinda weak. I lost. Yeah, so then you need for the challenges different teams like a superhero, supervillain, one of each color. So a you want to have specific characters that have a trait, a affinity. For example, he has with our area of effect characters. So you maybe want to put someone that has this team synergy and put him with two characters of this and two other characters. Then you do this for each team in your arena. Put the reinforcement that you think fits well with them. For example, you can have a team that doesn't have too much healing and too much survivability. This does extra healing to your team, but only in the back row. This does damage only in the back row, and this does 2 damage first in the front row, and then in the back row if the front row is all clear. So this has a chance of applying stun. Maybe you don't want it to have it with a team that does a lot of stuns, because if it goes off when somebody already has a stun, you lose the chance of stunning him again, because this attacks him, and you can only have a smaller chance of stunning other people. There's an interesting dynamic where you can mix and match many things that I find interesting. What other game? There are some game modes that you can. There's like a big boss fight that you. All of them have like different kits, and for example, like he summons, and when the people that when you don't kill their summons in 2 turns, he gains extra damage reduction. So you want a team maybe that does more area of effect damage to kill the summons. Maybe you have someone that spawns alone and that you want to just have a team that does a single burst damage. A There are ways to build different teams to face a specific challenge instead of having a super strong team that beats everything because the newest, strongest team. A I like this as I do here that when they release a character, they give you a 30% chance when you pull an epic that it's this epic, and you have this here where it says epic guarantee. So you just pull a lot, and you most likely will unlock them, or even like put an extra stars on them. One thing about this is that even if the event finishes, it will say 8 out of 40 for the next character that unlocks, which is nice. This here gives you resources over time depending on how much you have push your campaigns. So it's nice to push your campaigns, for example, before you finish the gameplay for the day. You push your campaigns a little bit forward, and then the next day when you log in, you have more rewards to put on your characters and push them forward. I don't know how much interest I will stay forever without too much PvP. I know now it's very interesting. You have many things to do. There are different game modes. They have different dynamics and way they play. Maybe a little bit more than Marvel Strike Force. Here, for example, it has like a weird like room rule, you could say. Like here, the opponents gain stacks of extreme coldness that's not normal in game. Then it increases the damage that they dealt. When they gain 5 of those, the next basic attack will freeze, like stun an enemy for 1 round, but one of your characters will have like burn and will do burn when they, which like it's like a bleed, when they hit the characters. This goes in specific order on your characters, so you can move the placement around. Freeze them new. Yes, they cannot gain freeze. So for example, when a character, they have 5 stacks and they attack him, he cannot gain freeze. When healing, they cleanse freeze, which is interesting. And when they attack here, people with a extreme coldness, it clears the extreme coldness from them. So you go in here with like the first character on the top, where it's Wonder Woman, will gain this extra buff. It's like a circle around her that's not normal in game. So because she does AoE, she will attack everyone with her ultimate, and it will like, you see, it removes the stacks that they were in front. Now he put stacks again, and yeah. So it's an interesting thing that changes every week. You have Elsword that I did play for today, which I think is very nice, especially for beginner players, because it gives you random characters all at the same level to play with, and then you can put different buffs and gain more characters, and you have to clear like 13 floors. It's very nice because you get to play with cards that you don't own, so you know how to counter them, you know if you want to have them. Here on the desired, which give you 30% extra chance when you pull an epic to pull this character. or even in the very early game when you can choose if you want Wonder Woman, Flash, or Superman. So you get to play with characters and see if you like them, and kind of know how to counter them. There's different buffs. For example, the enemies start with stun, or you start with more ultimate energy that you can select which one you want. So it's definitely a very interesting game mode. Uh, what else do we have? Team ups where it's like a almost like a new mini boss that you can summon, and then you need to kill it in some attacks to, well, you have some attacks. It's the only thing basically in game where you have some energy, which I like, that you can just keep attacking. Here you have energy. You have two attempts, two simulation attempts. If you summon someone now, you need to clear it in two or core to have extra energy. Or wait, but the simulation only lasts 2 hours, so you cannot wait for this specific simulation. Everything else, you do your campaign. You can just keep playing your campaign forever and reset it and do whatever you want. You don't lose energy. I like it. You can do your challenges forever. You can in arena you have specific attacks per day, free. Here I think is 10 in Elite Arena, and the people that win Elite Arena, the XC64 best, go in Victor's Arena. That I have never gone so far, but I have been in the top 64 lately a lot, so maybe they get more rewards. I don't know if it's different or they just do like an Elite Arena and whoever wins. Probably it's this. Uh, but yeah, if you are after 7 days in the top 64, you will go in the Victor's Arena. When you finish your arena attacks for the day, you need to have like those extra crystal keys to extra attacks. Now it's free. You can sim it here, which is nice. I lost. And when you finish when you do some attacks, now you see, I need to spend those that you can buy in the store. There are like mini stores here that this refreshes once per day, and you get to use your like diamonds for some of those, or many times gold, which generally is worth it to spend gold and not diamonds in here. I sometimes do the first here. I think it's 36 diamonds, and this is 180 to get some, because you need those to upgrade other characters. Here, this also upgrades the second. This updates every day, and you can buy gear here. Generally speaking, the top rows are the best gear that you can put. Those two specific pieces here, this and this, the top trait always fluctuates, it's different. And my understanding is in those here, the other four basically, the fourth trait fluctuates, but until purple you only have like 2-3 traits. So from epic, from like the gold here gear that I have, they start to have the fourth trait. So maybe you want to only build them up to the third trait, or like pull again, and then highly invest when you have the fourth that you like. This little diamonds here that you see, this little diamond here is stronger trait than the previous one, and I think it's up to 3 little diamonds on the epic. So maybe you want to wait to get the very strong ones, and then you highly invest in them, or just invest in these, and then when you get the 3, use these to upgrade the other one and lose this. Also with purple, you can have up to 1 diamond. Here is like purple without a diamond, and this with 1 diamond. 1 diamond is stronger. It has a little bit better stats. Here you have They're in a shop where you can buy character shards, but character shards are only to upgrade characters, are not to unlock them, or to put an accessory on them. You need to pull them here, or for those specific characters with character fusion. I don't think any of those are worth besides Lex Luthor, because you need those little pieces like the fragments to upgrade other cards. You need like 500 here. You cannot waste like a 120 of each, which take a lot to accumulate, just to unlock each of these characters. Just pull them here, put here that you want to pull like Kid Flash, and then you unlock him from here instead of here. Also, I don't think like Superboy is very strong. Those two are very nice characters, but I pulled them from orbs, even like accidentally. I didn't even go for them, and I have them unlocked. For Lex Luthor, it's definitely worth to accumulate those shards. 3 out of 4 you can buy from the stores. This you need to pull once, and then you pull a second time. Selecting him here, having him like as an option to pull. So then you have 40 shards when you have a duplicate of a character of those. It's of the epics. It's a 40 shard that you gain, which originally will put an extra star on them. You also gain him when if you spend at least $1 in the game that I haven't yet. Those stores here refresh every 1 week. Those 2, 3, and I think this is every 1 month, which is interesting. And I think it's nice that you have one store per day. Originally, it felt weird that you cannot like log into different types per day and buy different things in the store, but it's better. Just log in once, buy your things, play for 1 hour, and maybe you log in the next day. You don't need to log in 3 times per day only for the store, especially if your sleeping schedule is close to like a you go to sleep close to a store reset. It's extremely annoying because either you have to wait for a store to reset and then go to sleep, or like put an alarm 10 minutes before the store refreshes and then wake up, open the game, wait a couple of minutes to log in because Marvel Strike Force loads slowly, and then quickly buy the store, and it's annoying. It's better here. I think I like it. Yeah, you can buy some character shards here. You can, and here is like you can pull an epic character here, but like it takes a lot of time to get this enough to buy one of those. I don't know if it's worth it. This you can like the gold next to Nightwing shards is to upgrade your reinforcements. With those here, you can upgrade the artifacts here, and where is those here you can get gear, or you can like get character shards. Those are just cosmetics and expensive. There's also like mini challenges. This just automatically you put like a you need to have a character on different on a specific star, for example, and then you dispatch them, and after like some hours you can collect those. Maybe for this, when you don't have originally some characters at a high red stars, you need to log into twice per day to do all of them. Here's like a mini game where you can you have to find quickly who is here, and uh, when you do this, you you get into like a leaderboard. Uh, you get some rewards originally, but after that it's like for pride to be in the leaderboard. Sometimes there's an event where it gives like a reward uh, for being in the leaderboard in this, which is nice, but it's not like a huge reward. Uh, And there are also some events that they are going, but it's not like a. There are like 2 or 3 events going at any time. It's not. They're not. No, it's not him. He had a similar, I think, with his hand out. Uh, so here, if you, my top score is a 360, and I'm ranked 19. A Here's a different mini game that used to have like a. I think previous week was one for a was an event that had a leaderboard for this that gave you different. For example, here you need to take into account the wind and how this moves, and it goes a little bit different. So here you don't need to target the red one, you maybe need to target the blue to, yeah. So you have here, I'm 207 in the leaderboard. Let's show the events very quickly. There are a few, but this you will finish like in a week. You get 3 per day. It's a little bit annoying to find all of them. Many of them are here on top of like characters, like on top of Superman, of Ultraman. I think one is on top of her. I don't remember. It's a little bit annoying to find them. They give you riddles and then you need to find them, but you will find them eventually. Maybe you find the tutorial online. Character fusions you only get to do once. A This doesn't say anything. That says that a Raven is here. This is like an event that you get to gain some extra like orbs to open for her by doing some stuff daily. But takes like 3-4 days to finish, and they're very finishable. This is like a calendar. New artifact it doesn't say anything. So it's like basically one event going on now. Used to be one previous week that if you were like in the top 100 or something for this mini game, you would get a little bit of rewards. Cool. You play it. The first time you play them, you get some rewards, but after that, after you get a specific points, then it's just for pride, generally speaking. Or if they are like for. There's also like a mini here that you can put the items in the rooms, and when you get like 8 books, you get 5 of those. They're like very mini games, very little impact, but nice little things to do. In there, here is like a different campaigns. You could say those here when you get characters in specific star, you can get those here, which are to have more characters for the reserve league, to have them on a higher level. This here you unlock like the reinforcements and you can upgrade them, you get some stuff to upgrade them. Exploration is kinda nice, it's a little bit different because you move around with and you need to do some stuff. Many of those you can see, especially if you have a strong team. Yeah. So here you move around, get some. You speak with Batman. He gives you those, and then you can press the lights here, and it's little different how you play this. Like you move around in an environment, and you find like chests and get the rewards. A nice little extra different flavor of gameplay that I like. So the game seems fun up to now. Seems a lot of extra content to do. Like here it says how many chapters there are. There are a lot of chapters in the game, 65 chapters, and I'm only here, I'm 1610, and here I'm 23. So there is a lot of content to do. Even after a month of playing the game, I don't think I'll get bored for the next 2 or 3 months at least. And that is if they don't add new content that I understand that they they are working the game. So hope it gets a global launch. I hope it keeps growing. I hope that it keeps characters like this relevant, the most well known. It's very nice to get to play with them quickly, starting the game, to start with Batman and to unlock Wonder Woman in like 4 or 5 days playing the game, and have already, like, for example, most if you go here in a Elite Arena, #1 character has a Wonder Woman, Lex, and Zatanna as three of their five biggest characters. He has again all three. He has a Nightwing that I have, and I also have John Constantine and Kid Flash and Lex Luthor. So many of those characters here again. You basically have like many of the strongest characters very quickly available that you can build. Maybe you don't have like too many shards to put the extra stars on them, but like the skills, like you don't have like T-Force, you have like when you get stars on them, they get their abilities unlocked, which is nice because you have to worry about one resource less. And when you get level 10, rank 10, you get all the abilities unlocked. That for the time I'm playing, I have them already at 3, and they are in stores, and him have at 4. Like these are 8. First you start with the yellow stars, and then with the red. So red is 8, and here he's 9. So they're basically almost 10 very quickly. And then you get to like a silver, which I think is very rare to go, which is like level 11. You have all the abilities unlocked, you have the cards unlocked, you have some gear. I feel that I can compete, that you have many options free to play. Game seems like fun, seems like I like the theory crafting part of it, that you can move characters around. Yeah, that if you change a character, for example, here I cannot use this for Batman to do more damage, but if I want to use this, I need to put someone different here. for example, Robin, but then I cannot use from him. You only use one, anyways. But maybe I want to put her because she's a support, and to have both a support and to use. So you can move like pieces around. You can use his and start with 14 extra, 40% extra crit because you will hit with Wonder Woman more. A you you can move the placement. For example, when you have like a Robin, he does a lot of damage to the person on the opposite side of him in the back row. Maybe you put a tank in the back to absorb it. Otherwise, your characters will keep getting killed and you don't get the energy to ultimate because you have less characters to do the basics. So, uh, I think we spend a lot of time here. I like the theory crafting that you can move people around because maybe you want to put Nightwing here because Bane is gonna attack him. Yeah, you the three characters here in the top, like a Green Arrow, the person with the shield, and the person with the weapon. All three attack where Nightwing is, and the other two attack where a Lex is. Nightwing is tankier, so it's better to have them placed this way. There are little things. Maybe you want to kill quickly the person on the opposite side, and then you put Robin here. And when you start with Robin, now it's a higher level, of course, but when you start with Robin, you don't have to hit the tanks. You can hit the person in the back. Uh, there's many things with theory crafting that you can just moving one person one spot might change how the matchup works, maybe change the order in which they go off, might be better, put a different reinforcement, put a heal in there. Many things to plug and play with without being super prescriptive. I think it looks good. It is to some degree like a Marvel Strike Force for DC characters, but it's also not. It's different and it's interesting.